By the end of this video, you should be able to create a note-taking application using a multi-line text box. Stay tuned to find out how. Hello and welcome to another Thunkable tip. My name is Donald, and in this tutorial what we're going to do is take a look at how to create a very simple note-taking app using just 2 or 3 components: the text box, the label, and the button. So this is our introduction to the text box component. We've seen a lot of these properties before. As per usual, what you do is just create an app, drag and drop in the text box component here. So for instance, in the label tutorial, we saw how to modify the font properties like this, how to import our own custom typefaces like this from Google Fonts, and in the password text box tutorial we learned about these hints. So let's just put in something here like type your message here. In the previous video what we did was we took a look at how the numbers only property worked. So we don't want to type in any text here, but we can also change some of the other colors of the text box as well. One thing I might do here is just put this into the middle of our app as per usual, so that it looks a little bit nicer here. If we jump over into our live testing, this is what our default text box looks like. We can just type in some sort of message like that. Clicking on the checkbox there makes the keyboard disappear. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. We can do it in the blocks, or we can do it with the keyboard itself. But what we want to do is have the text from this text box added to a label on the screen. To do that, we're going to need obviously 2 more components. We're going to need to add in our label like this. What I might do here is I set the height of this label to be fill parent, so that will push the text box right down to the bottom of the screen. And then in beside the text box, I think I'm going to add in a button. So to do this, I would usually use a horizontal arrangement. That can be found in layout. And what we can do is drag and drop the text box into the horizontal arrangement. That's just like this here. And we can put a button then, so back to user interface, let's drag and drop the button in here beside it. So what we can do is paste or copy or update or something like that. So update maybe. That'd be good text for there. By default, I suppose there's no text in label 1 just yet. So let's get rid of the contents of that label there, and let's make the font a little bit bigger so it's easier to see on your screen. Okay, pretty happy with that. We can change around the styling and the overall appearance, but in here what we've got is our text box and our button down at the bottom. Let's make it a bit bigger, I suppose. Let's set the width of this to be 96%, and let's set the width of the text box to be fill parent. So the same idea, it stretches to fill as much space as it possibly can on the screen. Okay, so that's looking better. It could be a little bit wider, I suppose, but it's good enough now to get started with our coding. Okay, so in the blocks themselves then, what we'll do is add in the button1.click event, like so. And then when that button is clicked, what we're going to do is take the text out of the text box. That's textbox1.text. Okay, that's zoomed in a little bit too much. Textbox1.text, and we're going to display that in the label. So every time then we click on the button, what we'll do is take the text out of the text box and display it in the label. As I mentioned before in the last couple of videos, what we're going to do is when we're finished with textbox1, we can get rid of the text that's in it, like so. Okay, so let's try this out now. We should have the ability to type in some messages. So hello, like this. Should be going into our label, label1.text. There it is. Okay, so it had just popped up off the top of the screen there. We can do something like how are you, and then we click update and the label gets replaced. So let's say we want to have it more conversational. We want the blocks to be stacked from top to bottom. What we can do here is join 2 pieces of text. We want to join whatever is in the label, so that'll be label1.text, and we're going to join that to whatever the user types in. So we're going to join label 1 dot text. That's the old text with a new line. We saw this back in the new line video earlier on. So we'll put in the \n character, and where everything then will automatically go on to a new line \n like this. Okay, so let's test that out now. How are you? Hello. Like this. Hi. So on and so forth. So every time we type in some new text, it gets added into its own new line. Let's just type in some kind of gibberish messages here. Imagine you're writing a longer message like this. Figure out how long is long enough. So yeah, what'll happen here is eventually it'll put in its own line breaks. It'll decide where to go onto a new line. It all depends on the width of the screen and stuff. So the next thing then that we want to take a look at is the ability to have a multi-line text input like that. So when we're using this keyboard here, when we're using this text box, there's no ability, because we've got this little checkbox or check mark here, check button, there's no ability to go onto a new line. You can't have multiple lines of text. So in order to do that then, and if you're going to do it like that, kind of a note-taking app, for text box 1, you want multi-line enabled, like this. So let's try it out. Let's see what it looks like. Now you can see that the little check mark is replaced with a carriage return button. So hello, world, do you like my note taking app? Like that. And then you can type in as much as you want into the text box, click update, and then we see that it all gets entered directly into the label at the top of the screen. So that's it for this app. What I'll do then is put the AIA file into the description so you can download this and you can play around with it for yourself. If you like the video and you like these resources, don't forget to click the thumbs up and show your appreciation. For any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to click subscribe. That's it for this video. Keep on thunking, and I will see you in the next one.